Technical issues, we got it covered. We moved, we got sound, everybody can hear us. We're cool. Facebook, post show, let's do this.
Two takes, not me.
Yeah, today we are. Max, this one from Antonio Chavez, or Chavez, am I saying that right? Do you think there will ever be a quarterback as reliable or durable as Eli has been throughout his entire career?
Not for the Giants. It's unlikely that you would get another Iron Man guy right after you. I mean, Eli is the active leader for consecutive games, but league-wide, yeah, of course. I mean, he's not the all-time Iron Man, and nor has he been the most consistent quarterback. But he's a great quarterback. I said great. He's a two-time Super Bowl MVP. Sometimes he's made to look worse than he is because he has always had a tremendous amount of responsibility in the offense, comparable at one point only to Peyton and to Tom Brady. You know, where guys like Phillip Rivers were running more simplistic offenses and compiling numbers, Eli was playing in a bad weather stadium, back then especially, for, you know, in more complex offenses with a lot of responsibility in them. And then he's a gunslinger. He takes shots and he's not afraid to lose, so sometimes he'll turn the ball over. So to answer the question, it's unlikely the Giants get another Iron Man quarterback like that, but league-wide, of course. There have been more consistent quarterbacks, and there will be more consistent
The Giants do need to start thinking about the future soon, though, because I don't think Ryan Nassib is that guy.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Eli's, what is he, almost
What gave it
34?
away?
Yeah, exactly. Also, who's better? This has to be a no-brainer, right? Plaxico or OBJ?
Odell. I mean, Plex was a great receiver.
No question.
Was a great receiver. And by the way, the year the Giants were looking to repeat after the miracle win, the first miracle win against, you know, the David Tyree catch against the Patriots. The year they're looking to repeat, you think about this, it was going to be Arizona who had to travel to New York. Had the Giants beaten Philadelphia when McNabb just gets out of reach, right? I mean, in that scenario, the Giants wind up playing, they would crush Arizona at home that year. The Giants wind up playing Pittsburgh in the Super Bowl. And they had beaten Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh earlier in the season. And the reason they don't win, really, is they didn't have Plex because of the whole, the incident, you know, he literally shot himself in the foot. Yeah. So, and shot the team in the foot as a result. So Plex was a tremendous kind of balance of power type of player. And I hope I'm remembering all that right. That was my grievance at the time. I have to keep all my grievances straight.
Don't worry. Facebook will correct you
That's
if you're
right.
wrong. We'll get notes on that.
Yeah, right, exactly. No, that's actually, you're right. But Plex was amazing.
Special talent,
Odell Beckham
Jr.,
Jr., since the first game he played in the NFL, which is the 5th game overall that his first season, has done nothing but set records. Yeah. You know, I mean, he's a different kind of talent, and I think you look at even jersey sales, Odell is leading, or he's second. You look at any kind of record for a rookie wideout, he's right there on the list. You look at the most popular, the most well-known receivers in the game. The other names change.
His brand is global at this point.
Exactly, and why is that? Oh, because of the one-handed catch. Nope. The one-handed catch has caused him to be underrated. Because a lot of, especially NFL players that I've talked to, if you take away that one-handed catch, what? That he still has the record for receptions, quickest to this many receptions, quickest to this many touchdowns. I mean, it's like Randy Moss is a rookie, the way he's kind of setting those kind of records. He's a different kind of talent, and I think whether people admit it or not, they're somewhere in their brains there's recognition.
He is, and this is just the beginning, and as a Giants fan, I love his passion, but I don't want to see him beat himself. I want him to be a little bit more mentally tough and be less fazed by things. All right, let's move on here. A little NBA. This one from Pete, Mr. Travel Sutton. He says, LBJ's chasing the ghost of MJ, so are we saying he has already surpassed Kobe Bryant as having a better basketball career? That's a good question.
Yes, the answer is yes. Now, not if you're counting rings, although the first one in Cleveland, he had no shot. He took a bad team to the finals. One of the worst, like the Sixers team that Iverson dragged kicking and screaming to the finals was an all-time bad finals team. But it was comparable to that Cleveland team that LeBron dragged there. They didn't win. You can't hold that against them. He had nobody. Then he won a couple. Then he lost his first one in Cleveland. That counts against him. He choked away 4 consecutive fourth quarters. And at that point, the Jordan ship had sailed. That never happened to Jordan. Jordan, as soon as he got some help, never won in fewer than, they always won in fewer than 7 games. But he did, that was on LeBron. But then the following 2 seasons, he won. The season after that, you lost to an incredible Spurs team, but you went down with a fight. You're not going to win every time. And then you had the loss, the most recent loss to Golden State, where Kyrie gets hurt, Kevin Love gets hurt. You give him a tough 6 games, and you're setting the world on fire. Then you get those guys back, and you come back down 3-1 and win a championship. So the championship ring total is not as high as Kobe's, but that's largely due to circumstance, I think. And in terms of the peaks that they've hit, it's like LeBron by himself. Anywhere he goes, that team is now a finals contender. Yep. Any team he goes to. Now, I think Kobe's become a little bit underrated, actually, because the era in which he played did not value efficiency to the extent that LeBron's, although they overlap, does. And so Kobe's numbers, his efficiency numbers, will look low compared to the post-Kobe era, and it's caused people to underrate him. Kobe was as close to Jordan as you can come in terms of being that style player.
But don't you think him staying in a little longer might have hurt him a little bit too? In
Kobe?
terms of, being like prisoner of the moment type thing, and I wonder if LeBron thinks about that. Like looking at MJ, why didn't you just retire with the Bulls? Why go play the extra year? And if he'll, when it's all said and done, if he's kind of hanging on, if he'll go play for another team or he'll just hang it up. When he's in his prime.
The thing about LeBron is because of his size and the broad base of his skills, his decline, which I think he's already in, can be so long and so gradual.
It's scary.
It's scary. Yeah. He could be a great player for another 10 years if his body can hang on to it, even as he gets worse and worse, because what can't LeBron do? And now he knows how to pace himself and all that stuff. So, yes, I think we're saying already the heights that LeBron has hit are higher than Kobe's, although some would disagree. And even I think that's a little skewed by the eras in which they play. And then in addition to that, I think there's this kind of sense that the trajectory of LeBron's career, even if he's in decline, will take his career past Kobe's.
Yep. This next one is from Mike Mashaw. This is going to be a quick answer. I already know because I know Max. Did Facebook say anything? Do we need to correct anything?
Not yet.
No, we're good. We're good on all our Giant stuff. Okay. Do you think the Clippers, Spurs, or any other West team has a chance of upsetting the Warriors?
No. I mean, barring catastrophic injury for the Warriors, no, they got no shot.
That's a big no. All right, and we'll keep it moving. Let's do a little boxing. This one from Jesus Garcia. Max, who do you think will win the fight if it does happen, Triple G or Alvarez?
I have been asked to not predict fights that I might call, and it's very likely I would call that fight. I will put it like this. A betting line, the reason it's so tough to pick against the spread in the NFL, for example, is, and this was actually the conceit of Sports Nation originally, there's a book called The Madness of Crowds, or a theory. Then there was a response to that by James Surowiecki, who's a writer now for The New Yorker and for some other places, called The Wisdom of Crowds. And The Wisdom of Crowds, the thesis was this. A group where each individual member has private information, but they also share public information, will always, over time, make better predictions than the smartest member of the group.
Okay.
The crowd, as in kind of an organism, outpredicts its smartest member. Right? Because there are more brains at work there. What Vegas does with the line is actually they set the line trying to predict where there's even betting on both sides of the line. So actually what the Vegas line does is try to predict the wisdom of crowds. And then the line moves according to the way the crowd bets. So ultimately it reflects exactly the wisdom of crowds. Exactly. So normally the betting line is tough to beat for that reason. Because the group over the long run will outpredict its smartest member. That doesn't mean you can't beat the group from time to time, but over the long run. Now, the interesting thing about Canelo and Triple G is Canelo has such an intense fan base that the odds might be closer than they should be. But I believe, quote-unquote, smart money in boxing will be on Triple G. And he will be favored by most who follow the sport. And so I can leave it like that. I believe Triple G, if he were favored in that fight, would be correctly favored in that fight.
And very interesting explanation there. Max is always schooling us. He's always teaching us. Stephen A. likes to call Professor Max.
Do it.
The guy knows what he's talking about.
Every day. Think about that.
All right, last one here for you, Max. This one's from Ed Pearson. Both the Eagles and Ravens are 3-0. Actually, can you believe that? Are they real, or are they just fortunate because of their opening schedule? So the Ravens' opponents are combined 1-8. Interesting. As the Eagles' opponents are combined 2-7. Are these guys for real?
I didn't believe in the Ravens to start the season. But they've had a soft schedule. And they also have a quarterback who, in my view, has consistently, I don't have the numbers in front of me, seemed to elevate when they need him to. So the Ravens, even though I don't think a whole lot of them, given their schedule and given who their quarterback is, over time,
And the coach.
And the coach, of course, I trust them a little more. On the other hand, from what I've seen, I don't think they're that much. But the Eagles, who have a rookie quarterback, who, as the league starts to prepare for him and adjust to what he's doing and gets tape on him, I think will fare better against them than they've fared so far. And who, even though the Eagles are good at various positions, they don't have a lot of depth. So the attrition of a season, I think, makes them worse in the second half. But right now, the Eagles look real to me after what they just did to the Steelers.
I still need to see them get some big road wins, though.
Yeah.
They were at home, and I know you talk about the depth, and I know they balled out, but I still need to see a little bit more just because he is a rookie and kind of what they can do moving forward before I'm completely sold. I'm not sold on any teams in the NFC East.
Yeah, the Eagles are able to get pressure without bringing extra guys.
Yeah.
Their defenses look really good. Carson Wentz has looked really, really good. I don't believe in them over the long run. If you took the temperature right now they're real. We'll see what happens as that depth shows over the course of the season, because there will be injuries. You think, you don't wish it on them, but you think. And though I don't believe in the Ravens, like right now they're just not as good a team as the Eagles, but over the long run you have a little more confidence. So what does it all add up to? What does it all add up to? I think the Eagles are better than the Ravens. That's like the very short answer. I think they're just better than the Ravens.
We'll leave it there. Max, thank you kindly for the extra time. Facebook, thank you. Keep sending the questions. First take tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. Be there.